Picture this. When you imagine a wealthy person, what comes to mind? And when you picture a successful person, what image forms in your head? For most of us, it's the same picture. It's an impressive job title, a big house, a flashy car, a lifestyle that signals status. And we are taught from the time we are young that this is success, and so we chase it. But here's the problem. None of it ever feels like enough. When we think of success, we don't picture the life we're living, we picture the life we think we'll get one day. This is the rat race. It's not just about money, it's a mindset, the mentality of chasing without fulfillment. It's why people work jobs they don't love, to buy things that they don't need, to impress people they don't even like. It's why financial progress stalls, because every time the paycheck grows, so does the spending. So I wanted to explore, what if our society's view on success and wealth is wrong? And what if the feeling we've been chasing for decades was already available to us today? £70,000 in debt from university before I'd even earned my first full-time salary. The logical path was clear: get a grad scheme in London, work my way up the ladder, and do what everyone else was doing. But when I pictured it, it didn't look like freedom, and it didn't feel like realizing wealth. It felt like shrinking to fit someone else's idea of success. And what's the point of climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall? So I asked myself, is the price of making it worth the cost of living? And what if wealth isn't earned, but chosen? Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, defines leaving the rat race as the moment your passive income is greater than your expenses. He illustrates this simply with a financial statement. For the wealthy, income exceeds expenses, and assets outweigh liabilities. On paper, it sounds almost deceptively simple. Put your money into assets that pay you back, instead of liabilities that drain you. In Kiyosaki's terms, leaving the rat race means you are no longer dependent on a paycheck, your assets generate enough cash flow to cover your lifestyle, and work becomes a choice, not a necessity. The vehicle doesn't matter as much as the mindset. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take it out. The principle remains the same. Live below your means, avoid unnecessary consumption, and reinvest your gains. With discipline, reinvestment, and patience, the snowball effect kicks in. Eventually, your portfolio replaces your paycheck. That vision hooked me. It offered exactly what I craved: long-term freedom laid out in a clear, logical roadmap. But here's the shadow side. For many, the idea of waiting 5, 10, even 15 years to escape the rat race feels like a marathon with no finish line. And in chasing financial freedom, you risk building a new rat race. The consumer treadmill just swaps costumes. Instead of cars and clothes, it's now stocks, properties, and the next can't-miss investment. Even family vacations start to look like poor ROI, return on investments. Ironically, the harder you fight to escape money's grip, the tighter it can hold you. But not everything of value shows up on a balance sheet. James Clear in Atomic Habits talks about one-time actions, small choices that take a little effort up front but pay off again and again. Installing blackout curtains, automating your savings, deleting distracting apps, even getting a dog. Now, a dog doesn't generate passive income. In Kiyosaki's world, it's a liability: food, vet bills, time, energy. But in real life, it's something else entirely. A dog structures your day, pulls you into routines. It gives you a sense of family, the simple joy of touch, and the quiet comfort of being needed. It's a living reminder that life isn't only about money, it's about connection, rhythm, and care. But here's the tension. Follow the financial freedom blueprint too strictly, and a dog looks like an indulgence you cannot afford until you escape the rat race. And when it comes to children, you'll never be fully ready on paper if you wait for the numbers to line up perfectly. The moment may just pass you by. If you live by these rules, you start postponing life itself, chasing a distant finish line while the present slips through your fingers. You start to look like Gatsby, staring across the bay at the green light, always reaching for a future that never fully arrives. Financial clarity is valuable, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. Kiyosaki's model is useful, but it's still not the whole picture. It would be short-sighted to define my wealth through just one lens. To see the full picture, I had to look beyond the balance sheet. I'm often asked why I chose to move to Italy. Sometimes I say it's the food, the simple brilliance of a plate of pasta. Other times it's the weather, or the mountains, or the ancient streets filled with art and architecture, the language that sings even in everyday conversation, or the warmth of the people. All of these are real reasons, each valid on its own, but there's something deeper, something harder to explain. Italy is the first place I've spent significant time in a culture that seems to reject the rat race mentality. I discovered a different mentality. I discovered la Dolce Vita. It literally translates to the sweet life. The term was popularized by the 1960 film of the same name. Back then, it evoked indulgence, glamour, and carefree pleasure. Today, its meaning has evolved. In Italy, it's less about luxury or conspicuous enjoyment. It's about savoring the moment, appreciating life's simple or refined pleasures. I would propose that la Dolce Vita is the opposite of the rat race. It's wealth as presence, as engagement, as joy in the ordinary. It's the art of living fully in each moment. Seeing the city alive at 2 a.m. on a Sunday made me question everything I thought I knew about productivity and success. Do these people not work tomorrow? Do they not care? And then I realized they do work, but work serves life, not the other way around. That is why I believe the rat race is not universal. It's as much a psychological condition as a social or economic one, but it's heavily influenced by culture. But of course, there are Italians chasing money and Englishmen seeking presence. So the lesson is clear. Escaping the rat race isn't about geography. It's about your values, mindset, and priorities. Some cultures push you onto the treadmill, and others invite you to step off, breathe, and live more fully. But you don't need to leave your life behind or move to Italy to find it. Wherever you are, you can choose the mindset you live by. It starts with awareness, followed by redefining what wealth truly means to you. Consider this. Is there anyone so rich they can buy everything? Even the wealthiest fail to purchase love, respect, or happiness. So here's a proposition. What if we built our own scale of value? Only then we can chase goals that feel real instead of chasing what we've been told to want. You see, money can buy comfort, but often not contentment. That's why growth often comes from seeking intentional discomfort. I'm not saying money and career success don't matter. On the contrary, they do. But the importance society assigns to them is absurd. We've let the noise of the world drown out our own sense of what truly matters. And to be fair, not everyone has the same chance to step back. Some are too busy surviving to stop and redefine success. But even small pauses, a breath, a quiet thought, can begin to shift the direction of a life. John D. Rockefeller once said that wealth is measured by the relation between desire and income. If $10 feels like enough, you are rich. If $1 million doesn't, you are still poor. In fact, if you focus on what you lack, you'll always feel poor. But if you notice what you already have, maybe you'll realize you're surrounded by abundance. Maybe the good life was never about having more, but seeing more. The rat race versus la Dolce Vita isn't a battle between two worlds. It's a reminder that both live within us. Two ways of seeing, two ways of moving through life. What matters isn't which you choose, but that your choice is your own. Because success isn't something you chase, it's something you define. The richest life isn't the one that looks best from the outside. It's the one that feels true on the inside. When you are, what you believe, and how you live finally meet, you begin to see you were rich all along.